Hello YouTube, EasyGoingMC back with another Minecraft tutorial. Today, we're taking a look at a gold farm for Minecraft's 1.15 and up. This farm is quite simple, really just requiring slabs as well as trapdoors and a few hoppers, but it'll also produce you quite a bit of gold, coming in around 1,000 ingots per hour. A couple things to note before we get into how this farm works as well as the tutorial. This farm is scalable, so the design I'm going to show you today has 3 spawning pads. However, you can scale this down to even up just the 1 pad, or you can scale this up to several pads. So you just got to find the right balance for you. But the farm I'm going to show you today is 3 layers and 1,000 ingots per hour. Anyways, let's get into an in-depth explanation of how this farm works. If you don't really care about that and just want to see the tutorial and you're already sold on the farm, then you can fast forward to the timestamp that's on your screen now. But other than that, let's get into how the game mechanics work. There are 2 underlying mechanics as to why this farm works, the first of which is the fact that zombie pigmen and other zombie variants are attracted to turtle eggs, and we can demonstrate that right here. So as you can see, the zombie pigman was spawned in, and a few seconds later, he wanted to walk over here and break this turtle egg. So we can actually manipulate the zombie pigman then to be lured toward these turtle eggs that are actually unattainable for them. So they actually view these blocks as ones that they can just like walk across to get to the turtle egg. So they're viewing this as a full block up, so they think this is basically just a full block as well as this one. But when they're in their open state, they'll still walk across, thinking these are full blocks, but instead to fall down to their death into a hopper collection area down below. So those are the underlying mechanics. Another important thing to note if you're trying to design a farm of your own is you actually need 2 blocks of air above a turtle egg for them to be lured. As you can see, if we were to put a block above these turtle eggs, we would actually see, and we might have to put one on the 3rd one as well. But as we can see, they're actually not lured because there's a block above it. But if we look shortly, now that there's a block not there, they'll start walking. It might take a second for them to update. But as you can see, now that we have 2 air blocks, they are walking towards it again. So that is one thing to note. You need 2 air blocks above a turtle egg in order to lure a zombie pigman. Let's now take a look at what you're going to need to build this farm. So the farm itself is pretty cheap. So first things, for the entire farm, regardless of how many layers you decide, you're going to need 21 stacks of a non-spawnable block. So this includes things like bottom half slabs, glass, and leaves. I'd recommend half slabs, though leaves are an alternative. Glass would definitely look the best, or some stained glass variant. However, it's pretty expensive in early game. You might opt to choose slabs instead. It's important to note that all slabs I use in this video can be replaced with something like cobblestone or sandstone, which is a lot easier to get than smoothstone slabs. Then anyways, for each layer, you're going to need 21 stacks of smoothstone slabs or any other slab of your choice. You're also going to need 1 turtle egg as well as 24 oak trapdoors. And then for the collection system for the farm as a whole, you need 49 hoppers, which is definitely the most expensive part of this farm. But in reality, that's only about 4 stacks of iron, and that's really not too bad. And you're also going to need a few chests for storage. So anyways, let's now go build this farm. So the first step in building the farm is getting to the correct location to build that. And in general, for all future versions, you're going to want to get on top of the nether ceiling. And this is because you can build up in the sky and essentially get perimeter conditions without doing any conditioning of the nether below. To get on top of the bedrock, I have linked a video in the description that shows you not only how to get on top of bedrock, but also how to destroy the bedrock once you're on top of the nether. Beyond this, in 1.16, you're going to want to build this in the nether waste biome, because this is where mainly just zombified piglin spawns. So essentially, this is where you want to build it because the correct mobs are going to be spawning here, and you're actually going to be able to harvest gold. If you built this in the wrong biome, you might get no spawns at all. So make sure you're building this in the nether waste. This is essentially the same biome that the nether is now. So the first step to build this farm is you're going to place temporary blocks in a pillar all the way up to the build limit. So you just want to keep building and building and building until you're not allowed to anymore. Once you're at the top, you can tell, as it'll tell you, the height limit for building is 256 blocks. So this is where you're actually going to be AFKing. So what I like to do is, hopefully you have an elytra by this point, but just build like a 5x5 platform for you to AFK on. It can be smaller, it can just be 1 block if you want. If you do need a way to get up to the top of the farm, what I recommend is building a ladder once you've completed the farm off to the side and just building a walkway off to the top. Make sure you use unspawnable blocks for this. You don't want a gas spawning up here while you're AFKing and launching you off where you lose all your items and stop AFKing. So the next thing you want to do is come back to where your pillar is. You can break down, replace that block, and you essentially want to break down to y equals 224. And when we're using the y values to build this farm, we're using the X, Y, Z, and the F3 menu. So it's this one right here, as you can see. So at y, 224, and here is actually where we're going to place in our half slab roof that's going to prevent mobs from spawning. So the first thing you want to do while you're up here is place 2 blocks coming out from your pillar like this. These are temporary blocks. And then you want to make a 7x7 ring of half slabs, bottom half slabs to be exact, so mobs can't spawn on them, surrounding your temporary blocks like so. Then, once you've done that, you want to go an additional from each side in the middle, an additional 15 blocks out. So including this one, 16 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you want to do this on all 4 sides. Once you've completed that, you should have a rough square right here. It's not outlined, but as you can see, this sort of makes a square cross, a plus sign to say. So the next step of this is pretty quite simple. All you got to do is fill in the square. So, you want to connect the corners like this, just come out horizontally and just make a square out of this plus sign. You want to fill in the whole thing. As you can see, we filled in the entire square just like this. So the next step is to put in your first spawning pad. So what you want to do is come back here, break your temporary blocks. You should have a 5x5 hole in the middle. And then what you want to do is you want to go down to y equals 221. So essentially 2 blocks down. So next you want to follow the same process. So place 2 temporary blocks coming off of your pillar like so. Place that same 7x7 ring surrounding it. And then of course you want to go out the additional 15 blocks from each side and fill it in. Essentially you're mirroring this exact shape, just with top half slabs instead. So I will do that and I'll be back. So once you're done, the site should be very familiar. It should essentially be the same, except you have 2 blocks in between of a roof, and these are top half slabs. As you can see, pigmen are already spawning on it. So the next step is to actually put in your first egg. So you want to, once again, break these temporary blocks. And you actually want to replace one of your temporary blocks like so. And you want to place your egg right on top of it like there. You'll actually see the zombie pigmen might start getting lured to it. Yep, as you can see right there. So the next step you want to do is place trapdoors on this block, just like this. And then you want to place trapdoors on the edge, like this. And as you can see, the pigmen are going to start walking off. I'm actually going to go in peaceful mode just for ease in building this. And you just want to place trapdoors sort of covering every single block to allow these pigmen to easily walk off. You technically could replace it with 1 if you wanted to, if you're really short on wood, but this will allow for the fastest design. So now we can put in the next layer. So what we want to do, I actually just broke the egg. You can go down once again in your center pillar. It'll be a little more difficult to break these blocks, but you want to go down to y equals 218 once again, so another 3 blocks down. Once again, same process, 5x5 hole in the middle, and then surrounded by this slab square. Once again, the same exact shape as the layer before it. So I'll do that and be right back. So you should be left with something like this once again. So follow the same exact process as before. What I suggest doing is once again going to the middle, that's on level here, placing a block, and then placing your egg. You might have to do this from the side. Then what you want to do is from the side, just place trapdoors going down like this in front of the egg once again. So this is essentially to prevent zombie pigmen from this level from falling onto this egg down below and then causing the whole farm to break, as this egg would be destroyed, the zombie pigmen would build up, and your spawn rates would significantly decrease. So you just want to place it, you kind of place it on the bottom edge of this block, facing in the direction, it'll just close right on top of it. Then you want to do the same on the glass block before it, and before you close the last one, just break that block before. Then to build the third layer, right, one more thing, before that, once again, place your trapdoors just like so, all around the ring, and this will make your second layer done. So the third layer follows the same exact process, so I'll go put that layer in. Once again, just another 3 blocks down at y equals 215. And I just totally fell off, but it's at y equals 215 right here. Alright, so as you can see, I put that last layer in, just mirroring the floor above the trapdoors, and then we can follow the same process. So you place a block, so it's basically one above the level of the farm. Place your egg, and once again, just using the trapdoors, push it all the way down so it covers the egg. You may want to leave this block in place before you destroy it. And then, yeah, just cover it once again, just like so. Alright, so the final step of the farm is to put your collection system in. As you can see, put these trapdoors all the way down. So what you want to do is just break your pillar all the way down to y equals 141, and this is where we're going to put in our hoppers. So almost there, it's basically just a few blocks above the bedrock ceiling. So what you want to do is just sort of, I guess, place a temporary block right here. I'll use bedrock, I guess, that's the one in my inventory. And just go 3 blocks in this direction, place a chest right there, then place 2 chests, 2 double chests on either side of it, like this. Then what you want to do is from each of these chests go back 7 hoppers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just continuously do this. I'll show you the exact layout of the hoppers. I use a texture pack called Vanilla Teaks that add arrows, which will help with this tutorial and also helps in survival, so I definitely recommend checking that out. It's by Azumavoid. And then on either side, as I just did, place hoppers going into this section right here. This should provide you very, very good coverage. You might get a couple drops on these chests, so you could add hoppers, but it's probably not necessary. It's like a couple ingots every little while. Or not a couple ingots, couple nuggets every little bit of a while. So this is definitely a pretty optimal array for the farm. The reason why you need more than one chest is because this actually produces more items per hour than a single hopper can process. So I'll back up. You might be able to get away with 3 double chests, but I'm just putting 5 here for safety's sake. You can go a little more advanced on your storage system, but for the purpose of the tutorial, this is the system I'm going to use. Anyways, the farm is now complete. Feel free to add more layers. We'll go back up to the top to confirm that it does indeed work. However, I already tested it, spoiler alert. But as you can see, we should see it pretty quick once we get up to our AFK spot, that zombies should start pouring off the edges. So a couple quick notes about this farm. This is future-proof as it relies on very, very just core game mechanics. Things like aggro farms, that's constantly being tweaked and changed and has basically broken almost every single update. I can't even think about the number of times aggro farms have broken. So this is why I think going with a farm like this is definitely the best decision, as this is much less likely to break, as I don't see them removing the feature of zombie pigmen going after the turtle eggs anytime soon. But other than that, a couple of plugs. If you guys do need help with this farm, I've linked 2 Discord servers down below. One is this marketplace, which is me and a group of other YouTubers who post their videos there. I definitely recommend checking that out. And feel free to join and ping me within there if you need help. I've also posted a link to my personal Discord server, which is solely dedicated to me helping you guys and just chatting in general. So if my recommendation is to join both if you need help with this farm or you just want to chat in general. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, drop a like down below and subscribe for more tutorials like this, as well as a Let's Play where I build many farms like this and really push single player to the maximum. Other than that, guys, have an easygoing day, and I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.